Tonight, I am pleased to announce a comedy. We shall employ every device we know in our desire to divert you.
Alrighty, 8:39 is our time. A comedy tonight. Maybe not quite tonight, but Saturday night, comedy for sure. And joining us this morning to tell us all about it, from the Alumni Association, Ron Wig and Director Joe Thompson. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Very good. Good, Luke. How are you?
Great, great. It's great to have the Follies back.
Well, we're excited about it. It's really an important thing for the community to get this group together. I mean, there's a lot of talent in our town, and having Joe on board to direct this, we're just very excited about it.
Actually, Joe, I don't know how you do it. How can you manage everybody up on that stage? I mean, with the talent that you have that you're working with, it's.
I have a cat of nine tails and a loud megaphone. No.
But you have to sort of orchestrate this. This is done a little differently from the past Follies, where there wasn't necessarily a script or a common theme. I mean, there's a common theme here. We'll get into that, but it's sort of like, hey, you develop your talent, and we're going to put it into a show.
Yeah, it's a talent show, variety show. Type of evening. So it's while we do have an ensemble, a core ensemble that's going to take us through the evening. The actual acts are acts that people brought to the table. Or that I forced to bring to the table. But it's really of the variety show ilk, and it's pretty entertaining.
Ron, just involvement in past Follies. It's great when the community comes out and takes part in these things. But people today, they seem like, I got this going on, or I got that going on. But when you boil that down and you say, hey, this is going to benefit the Alumni Association, and it's a lot of fun, this year is a little different where you can work on your own time. We'll get together, prior to the show and go through it. But how important is it to get those folks to volunteer their time and to come on and help the Alumni Association?
It's very important, Luke. I mean, you have a core group of people that are interested in supporting the Alumni Association. We have about 9,000 members in our database across the country, and to bring an act like this to the table, and it's a good time of year to do it to begin with. We're kind of in the doldrums coming out of winter and into spring, so everybody's looking for something to do along with the community. We think the community will really enjoy what we have going on. You mentioned the past Follies that have been done, and I'm just happy. I remember the last one I was in, I had to dress up like a geisha girl, so I'm just Joe's corner man here. I get to stand back and he tells me what to do, but I support it.
I think last time you said it was like, I mean, it's a typical Saturday night for you.
Oh, you're right. That's something my wife probably doesn't know about.
Oh, then we'll keep that here.
Right.
But you're right. We're into that period where the weather just hasn't really. It's kind of like, come on, become spring. Where's the warmer temperatures? People want to get out. People want to laugh and have a good time.
In Nantucket, they call March Hate Month.
I think that starts in January sometimes here. No, but it's great to get out, go to a show, and to laugh and have a good time. And I think the other part of it, Joe, is seeing those people that up on stage having a good time.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about that. And one of the fun facts about this particular show is we have several ensemble bits and musical numbers, etc. And this is a show by committee. I literally broke the cast up into different committees. This is the musical committee. You're going to choose your number, decide what you want to do, and then we had a sketch committee, and they got to sit down and we just went through everything and started chopping away, and so this is a it's of questionable taste, and it's and it reflects our community very well. No, but it's we've got some really funny bits, and it's everybody's invested in it because they had a hand in it.
Yeah.
So
Ron, when did this process begin? When did you know we're going to do a Follies?
We started talking about it a year ago, Lucas. Was March of last year, and you know how things kind of creep along, and we got the idea going. Everybody thought it was a wonderful thing to do, and then we start working on it about 3 months before, so you think you have all this lead time.
Yeah.
But and we're trying to weave the high school experience throughout the show. That's the other part of it. We don't really have a theme, but a lot of the skits are involved with, Pleasantville High School, Titusville High School, and St. Joe's Academy. So we are an organization that encompasses all of those groups.
Oh, that's great.
It sounds like you're weaving in, as you say, quite a few members of the community. I was just wondering, I was listening to Joe just a minute ago, it sounds like there's going to be all sorts of different kinds of humor, like vaudeville or slapstick, things like that, physical humor. Am I sort of on target with that, or am I looking at something a little bit more subtle?
Subtle. I don't think there's a subtle moment in this show. No, it's pretty right out in your face. And I mean, to call it physical, I mean, you've got a lot of the men and women that are involved in the comedic aspect of this show are people who are pretty vibrant characters for our community. People like Bill Stumpf and Dwight Proper and Bill Logan and Barb Ives and Terry Wig. Very very active members of our community in different organizations and people who aren't afraid to speak their mind.
Well, they're characters in the community.
They are,
to begin with.
Absolutely. So that's the comedy is not subtle. It's enjoyable. It's not abrasive in any way, I don't think.
So what happened, Ron? You guys said we're doing this. Did you guys know who was going to direct the show initially, or did you kind of bring Joe in?
Oh, we built the show around knowing that Joe's on our board and the talents that he brings to the table. I mean, that's just a given.
Yeah. Yeah, we were jogging ideas around a board meeting back last February, March, and I thought how much fun would it be to do like the sophomore talent show we do that we did as Titusville High School students, to bring that to the Alumni Association.
So this was you a year ago. Let's see. All right, let's see, baby. You know what? I got to direct a show.
A couple shows.
A couple shows. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was
choir.
Yeah, right. It was just I thought it would be, I've done some directing, so I was an idea that I kind of kicked around, and I'll hold the bag. That's fine.
What does the Alumni Association mean to you?
Oh, I think first of all, it's a wonderful organization, and it's to patronize, in terms of donation, an organization like the Alumni Association is very special because, let's face it, it's the only high school we'll ever have, and to know that it's going to be taken care of, and the student body is going to be taken care of, in their endeavors for scholastic scholarships and achievement. I'm as proud as I could be to serve on the board and to also be a donor.
I think it's when I was asked to leave high school in 10th grade, I thought it was great that the Alumni Association still thought of me enough to send me their alumni newsletter twice a year.
Twice a year,
when that
right.
comes out. Actually, that's talk about that, Ron. People look forward to getting that in the mail. They run to the mailbox, they see that thing, they run back so they can start to go through it, and it's something that they continue to look at until the next edition comes out, or they save these things.
Exactly. Well, it's up to 14 pages right now, and like I said, having 9,000 members across the country and 7 foreign countries our graduates live in, the articles that we get, and we do a lot of solicitation to get articles from people, and there's a couple good ones coming out in the spring paper. It'll be out shortly after graduation.
Wow.
We like to get all the scholarships in there, and we're up to 20 scholarships now. So last 3 years, we've doubled the number of scholarships we have. So
that's amazing.
It's important to get out there.
Joe, a lot of people, after they graduate or they finish college or they start their career, they move away. Some of those folks come back. Others, continue on out there in the world, but their love of Titusville never fades. I had the opportunity to be down at the Florida reunion a month ago, and some of those folks have been down there for 20, 30, 40 years, but have to know what's going on back here. They have to check the paper out online. They love getting the alumni newsletter. What is it about Titusville that they just can't let go of?
Well, it's first of all, it's your home. It's where you're from, but more importantly, I think. When I came home, this is the feeling it's a nurturing community. It's a great place it's a great place to grow up as a young person, and it treats a lot of people very well. I have a group of 12 friends, and we communicate on a almost daily basis through different chat applications, and these guys, almost to a T. All of them live out of town except for a few, and they know what's going on in the Herald more than I do, because they're constantly reading up on it. And this was good to a lot of people, this town and our high school. So,
what sort of comments do you get, Ron, working at the Alumni Association, when people call in and talk to you? What is it? Do they share memories with you of growing up here?
They do, Luke. I think hitting that time frame when they're teenagers and maybe in through their early 20s before they go off to college, that's a pretty special time in somebody's life. So when they're out in the world and doing what they do for a living, your memory kind of goes back to that time, and you're here in Titusville. And so that's what I get a lot of as well. They talk about friends that they had in high school. They want to know where somebody's at, so we've got the database to help them reconnect or help them plan their reunions. And it's the job that I have is a fun one, because I get a lot of positive comments from people. I don't really deal with a lot of negativity. They're all excited about Titusville, and we hear memories from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and up through, what the community was like and where it's at. So it's a interesting situation.
With our last group, we were talking about sometimes folks don't realize what they have till it's gone. And the fire last week, I think a lot of people thought, oh my gosh, I didn't realize all these businesses were in the town square building, or I didn't realize how important it was to have the blue canoe. I thought last Friday or Saturday was a great reminder, driving around the block and seeing nothing happening on the weekend, and you think, oh my gosh, it's just dead, and how important it is to have that here in the community. I know you get a lot of other school districts that call you up and say, how did you guys pull this off? We would love to have an alumni association. Where do you start? How fortunate are we to have this here?
Very fortunate. I just worked with Greenville here within the last couple of months. They're working on a project to start up an alumni association. So,
and it's too bad you don't know anybody down there.
Yeah, yeah. My nephew's down in the district there. But having the group that we started back in 1996, and having a superintendent like Ken Winger to support the group of board members that got the organization kicked off, and Ron Joyce, Carl Engelke. It was a special time, and it's really got us to where we are today. So we're very fortunate to have that situation.
Judd, were you going to make a comment?
I was going to say, I would just piggyback on people talking about their memories. This process of doing this talent show, this Follies, has been a one-upsmanship of, oh, those were the days. No, when I was in high school, those were the days. No, when I was in high school, that was the days. It's been no, you don't get it when kind of.
That's great. Yeah, I always related to Saturday Night Live. Every 5 years when they get the new cast in there, people don't get it. The older ones who said, the Chevy Chase days, or the Bill Murray, or the Dana Carveys, or Mike. Everybody's got their own, as they grow up, what they're used to seeing, right, and that's theirs. 5 years later, it's somebody else's, and you think, I don't understand that humor. So, how do you take all of that and put together a show for everybody?
You listen.
You listen.
You let everybody express themselves, and everybody's got a unique voice. Fortunately, I think most of our cast is from the class of 69 or 70 or 71. So,
but what a strong couple classes.
Yeah,
there.
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely, and they're so deeply enthusiastic about it. You can just count on these people to just roll their sleeves up and go in and just tear it apart. It's wonderful.
Wow. Mark?
I was just going to say, the town, the high school is so fortunate to have an alumni group like that. I'm a Pennsylvania native, but I did all my growing up in New Jersey and went to a high school in New Jersey, and I cannot recall an invitation except maybe once to a reunion event. And honestly, there's so little connection there anymore. I think it's wonderful that this organization promotes those kinds of connections. People miss a lot when they don't stay connected with their past.
I try to tell them it was just New Jersey. Nobody wants to have a connection to New Jersey.
Well, this is true. I'm mostly from New Jersey. I can take that with a grain of salt.
Let's recap. Let's recap what's going on here. Saturday night's the big event. One and done. So you have to come out Saturday to see this event.
Absolutely. And it's going to be a little bit of a tightrope affair. It's going to, are they going to fall on their face?
Part of that might even be funnier, though. When
Exactly.
You think
No, I think that actually makes it even more special because it's you don't get a chance to get comfortable. Everybody's kind of dancing around on their toes. No one's sitting back on their heels like, oh, we got to do it this way again. It's going to be like, okay, let's go. And especially in some of the real quick comic bits, I think that'll really make them. It's kind of almost like a Saturday Night Live type of feel. It's like
yeah. So, Ron, will you make an appearance on the stage, or are you going to be sweating behind the scenes?
I'm behind the scenes,
right.
Luke. That's my job. We got the wrestlers in there for a group. We've got senior.
I hear
center.
that's going to be really cool.
It should be good. I mean, we're taking in the whole community.
We really are. Yeah.
And we've got graduates on stage from the 40s and 50s all the way up through the 2000s. So we're covering a pretty wide range and should hit somebody's funny bone along the way somewhere.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Curtain opens at what time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So get
Tickets
there early.
can be purchased at the Chamber. We will have them at the box office on Saturday evening as well.
Okay. If folks have any questions, they want to get a hold of you, maybe to discuss this or to discuss other things that go on with the Alumni Association, how can they reach you, Ron?
Our phone number is 827-1238, and our email, Titusville_alumni@gorockets.org. I'd also like to mention, I missed this point, Luke, that we do have a Chinese auction going as well. So a little bit extra to our fundraiser. We'll have 10 or 15 baskets there of a variety of items, and so bring a little cash with you when you come.
All right.
Yep.
Have a lot of fun this Saturday night.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All righty, guys. Before we wrap things up, Mark, what'd you learn today?
Wow. First of all, it was nice to have so many folks in today. That was the best part. But it was good to learn all of the details of all of the things happening behind the scenes to help folks out in businesses behind the scenes here with the fire from last week.
All righty. Joe, what'd you learn today?
I'm a slow learner.
Ron, what'd you learn?
I learned that I'm here to support Joe. He's a slow learner. I'll help him along.
He's just a puppet.
Pawn in the game.
Yeah, pawn in the game. Alrighty. I learned that we can't always get the weather right. We were saying it was going to be 54 yesterday. What in the hell happened?
It was pretty.
It was cold, wasn't it?
I was out at work in Pleasantville, and I looked at one of the guys I work with. I was like, I thought it was supposed to be 55. He's like, well, I better get with it.
Yeah. Well, the rain didn't help, and it's going to continue today. Temperatures around 40 degrees. Friday, maybe some rain and snow mixed, especially in the morning. 35 for a high. Into the weekend, cold on Saturday with rain and snow. 28. Warming up Sunday, 46 degrees. A week out from Easter. Back on Monday with a little bit of rain and snow in the morning, then rain. 48 for a high. Alrighty, have a great Thursday, everybody. We'll see you back here for the Friday edition of the Morning Drill. Daybreak news from 6 to 7. Morning Drill from 7 to 9.
the house of Senex, who lives here with his wife and son. Also in this house lives Pseudolus, slave to the sun. Pseudolus is probably my favorite character in the piece. A role of enormous...